Welcome to the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. I'm Jill, coach and owner of CSNF. My team and I are here to help you take charge of your fitness and nutrition. In each episode, we'll provide you our best so that you can take your health to the next level. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with our host and coach, Alex Cottingham.
CSNF and all of our other CSNF friends and family, we appreciate you tuning in to this third episode and final installment of our little mini series that we're chatting it up with Jill and Chrissy. Jill and Chrissy, say what up.
What up?
What up?
I always say hey, so I try to change it up on us. Jill, what is your favorite grocery store?
That's a hard one for me. I'm a Kroger girl because they have the Starbucks on the inside.
Oh, gosh. Chrissy, what is your favorite non-fast food restaurant?
Oh gosh. Probably right now Laredo's.
I love Laredo's.
For our non-Atlanta and coming people, what's Laredo's?
Laredo's is it's not like your traditional Mexican cuisine. It's like kind of like street tacos and like little fancy items, things like that.
Fancy Mexican.
Yeah, so
Love
yummy.
it.
And it's right by our house. So
Guys, that's a setup for our third conversation all around how do we go about sustainable nutrition. So the first one was more about the why. Like, why is it important? Why do we talk about this? Last episode was about what are the things that we're actually trying to do. We talked about protein, we talked about produce, we talked about consistency, we talked about 80-20, like just some of the what's. Now we're going to talk about how do we actually do this? Where do we start? And practical tips when it comes to what we do. So question to kick us off, how do we do this? Where is a good starting point for people that want to start getting their nutrition back on track, being intentional? What is a good step number one? Jill, I'm going to turn it to you.
Learning how to build a healthy plate.
Learning how to build a healthy plate. Let's break that down.
Yes.
First, you said learning.
Yes.
That implies that we didn't know what it was before.
I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So teach us.
Yes.
What is a healthy plate?
So you're going to start with your plate, right? And actually, a lot of people don't eat on plates, and they don't even eat full meals.
So you're talking about an actual dinner plate, like I'm holding it right now.
Paper plate is my preferred, but yes. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Paper china.
Keep going.
So you're going to take your plate and you're going to divide it into 3 sections. There's a little home for different food groups in those sections. You are going to start with a quarter of your plate, so 25%. Imagine 3 sections, right? 25% of your plate is going to be a lean protein.
Kind of like a pie chart. We can think about
It's
it
like
like
a little
that.
pie chart, yeah.
25 slice.
25 protein,
'Kay.
lean protein. Half of your plate is going to be filled to overflowing with vegetables.
So when I'm out at a work party and people look at my plate, they're like, gosh, do you like broccoli? And they're like, yes, I do, because
Yes, I
half my
do.
plate is broccoli.
And it's actually toppling over. I have so much on here.
So that's what you're saying.
Full to overflowing. I'm not talking like 2 stalks. I'm talking like put the broccoli on the plate, guys.
Because most people are not getting enough.
Yeah. Load it up. I have never had a conversation with someone who has overeaten broccoli, mushrooms, or squash.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
So, Jill, what's the last quarter then?
That's going to be a starch. Okay, that can be rice, potato, sweet potato, oatmeal, a piece of bread, whatever you want that to be.
Tortillas.
Tortillas. Yes.
Okay.
So that's the plate. It sounds so simple. It's so simple to think, oh, I have this plate and I'm going to fill it with these 3 things. Guys, it is hard because if it was simple, everyone would be doing it and we wouldn't be here. So building a healthy plate and starting with a lean protein, half a plate of veggies, and then the rest of it is going to be starch. That's where we start.
Chrissy, how in the world do I do this? Because I'm going to go to my fridge and I have some
Pasta.
jelly, some leftover mac and cheese, and the casserole from the break room in my fridge, and that's it. So how the heck do I build this plate?
Okay, so
First, you got to get in
on
your
that
car.
one,
And
yeah.
go to the
So
grocery
first you just turn around. And I mean, obviously that's something, but just like we talked about in our last episode, like having those foods available to you is
Exactly.
a
That's what I was
really
getting
big
at.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So having the foods available to you, having them just in your fridge, or whether you kind of have a plan. I mean, I have to have a plan for the week to know, like, okay, like these are kind of the dinners I'm going to throw together. So making sure I have everything available. And then I will say, like, kind of one caveat to it is I meet a lot of grown humans who do not eat vegetables or
Yes.
many vegetables. They only
Right.
eat like maybe 3 vegetables.
Grown humans.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
so I kind of let the fruit traverse back and forth between the carb starch section and the veggie
Sure.
section, just
Yeah.
because, I mean, you're not really making a bad choice no matter where that's filling in.
Right.
But I think that's the big thing, having them available and kind of starting from there. And I like to keep it real simple. Like, we don't need to
Right.
have these crazy recipes.
Don't worry about what it is. Just get that on the plate. Because that's what I was getting at is when I say, oh, plate method, people are like, okay, like, that's it. Like, that's pretty easy. But I see the biggest obstacle is actually having it available to put on the plate.
Yes.
And that's where we were getting at is like some of the practical tips. How do we do this? A very keystone habit to sustainable nutrition is making sure that your fridge and your pantry are stocked full with the right stuff.
Right.
Which comes down to, I mean, grocery shopping, packing your lunch, meal prepping, which is why those are very common practices
That's
when
why
it
it's
comes to
hard.
nutrition.
Plate method
That's
in theory
why
is
it's hard.
easy,
Exactly.
but it's hard in execution.
So how
Yeah.
do you guys go about grocery shopping?
Well, I was going to tell our listeners how to plan. So you're going to make your grocery list and you're going to write down 3 sections. You're going to write protein, vegetable, starch at the top of your list, and then you write 2 to 3 items down each one and start there.
Yeah.
That way you have a couple of protein options, a few veggie and fruit options, and then a few starch options. And then throughout your week, you're just going to mix and match those however you want. That's how I grocery shop.
So the plate method of what our body needs becomes our grocery list.
It is the grocery list. Protein, vegetables, starch, and put a few under each one. Of course, you can buy other things.
Yes.
Like you can get your almond milk and your Greek yogurt and all of that stuff, but these are the basis of your plates that you're going to build each day.
Chrissy?
Yeah, that's the base. And then
Yes.
you can add things like
Sure.
avocado or cheese or
Sure.
seasonings
Yeah.
and oils and whatever.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that is probably the best tip that you can do is split those 3 sections and put in 3 foods each that you
Yep.
think you're going to do.
Yep.
Do you guys
that you
have,
like.
Do you guys have your favorites in each of those lists? I know we kind of talked to some protein sources last time, but what about veggies and starches for you guys?
I am a creature of habit. I do try to get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables in my diet, but I do have ones that work best for me and my digestive system. So I do a lot of zucchini, squash, green beans, mushrooms. I'll do the occasional Brussels sprout, asparagus, but those my go-tos are zucchini, squash, and green beans and mushrooms.
Chrissy, what about you?
I love the like Taylor Farm salad kits, so I always get those. And then especially for like my starches, I always have either sweet potatoes or like the little boiled potatoes.
Yes.
Those 90-second rice bags, love
Yes.
those. I think those are so easy.
So I am
Tater
a
tots.
entrepreneur, and I am just like my mind's going a million miles per hour, and I just get home and I just order takeout because I don't have time to go grocery shopping. What would you tell somebody that says I don't have time to go grocery shopping?
That's fine. You can still build a
Yeah.
plate at a restaurant. It's very rare that a restaurant is not going to have like a protein option.
Yeah.
I mean, even McDonald's, you can get a grilled chicken breast at McDonald's. They have grilled chicken sandwiches. To find a protein option, to try and find a fruit or veggie option. I mean, I think McDonald's has salads. It's probably not very good, but if you're in a pinch, grab a salad. It might be a little soggy, but it'll work. But I think you
Yeah.
can eat out, even at Mexican restaurants,
Oh,
like
yeah.
fajitas, like meat and
Love
vegetables.
fajitas.
Very great.
Chips, a little starch on the side.
And
you
most
know?
places
Yeah.
have like bowls now.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
will say like sometimes their portions are a little off.
Right.
But I mean, you can always ask and
Sure.
adapt to that portion. And I am ever since our daughter was born 3 years ago, my big thing was I want my groceries delivered.
Yes.
grocery delivery,
Come on.
that's it.
That is when so we have young kids as well, and we talked to my parents, my in-laws, and it's specifically my mom. She's like, if we would have had grocery pickup or delivery when I was a young
Change the
mom,
game.
I would have been sane my entire life
Yeah.
because we don't go into grocery stores with young kids because it is a nightmare and a hassle. But the fact that Hannah can say, hey, I ordered groceries, can you pick them up? And I just go because it's on the way home.
Yeah.
They put them in my car and I go home versus
easy.
going in there taking an hour or two versus click, 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 boom.
The universe wants us to win
Yeah. And they make good selections.
with click lists.
At least
Yeah.
Kroger
And
does.
Instacart,
Yes.
Instacart too. They'll bring it right to your doorstep.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So
And they'll text you the whole time. They'll tell you if things aren't there.
Yes.
They are very,
Very good.
communicative.
That's what I would
Very.
suggest.
Yeah.
Do you guys have you found any success in like the pre-made meals, like the Fresh and Fits, or the stuff you can buy at the grocery stores? Like, have you found success there?
both for me.
Yeah, I know Jill does like the pre-made meals, and then I like even last night we did. Publix has like the ready it's all like portioned out and everything.
Oh,
Was that
yeah,
good?
yeah.
Amazing. amazing.
I did that too.
They're so
You did that last night
good.
It was 2 weeks ago before small group. I was like, we don't have time to cook. I'm just throwing this in the oven. It was great.
That's our new thing, and I love it because it's like everything is portioned exactly what you need. You can clean it up. I literally just put everything back in the bag to throw it away as I made it, so the whole meal was cleaned up by the time I
Yeah, it
was
was at
done
Publix
cooking.
too.
It's in a little bag, and it's got all the things
It's
in
got
it.
everything you need.
Did it have the 3 parts of the plate?
Mine did have the 3 parts of the plate, and I will say there was actually a lot of chicken in there, and the whole meal was $24.
Wow.
Like $24 to feed all 3 of us a really nice meal, and we have 2 full things of leftovers too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we've built the plate. We have food available. Let's talk about some tips and tricks about just priming our environment at home, because our refrigerator and our pantry are very important parts of this, because like we said, we're creatures of habit, but we're also, sometimes we just eat out of visual cues. Sometimes we just eat because we're bored. And if we have a bunch of cookies on our shelf versus a bananas on our shelf, that's really going to dictate our nutrition and our intake. How do you guys set up your house for you to succeed well? Chrissy, you go first.
For me, fruit has to be on the counter. There is always going to be bananas, oranges, apples, nectarines, whatever on the counter, so that is the first and only food that you see when you walk in the kitchen.
What fruit do you have on your counter right now?
I have bananas, oranges, and nectarines right now.
In like a little bowl.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
in
is
like
the
a
difference
thing.
between an orange and a nectarine?
A
It's just
nectarine is like a peach. It's a stone fruit.
It's like a peach
I'm thinking
without the fuzz.
I thought tangerine. I thought tangerine. Like the little tiny tangerine.
You literally have your major. Or your
I've been in this field for 10 years. I don't know the difference between an orange and a peach.
They don't teach you that in school.
They don't, because they assume you already know. Hey, we are not editing that out, guys. I am totally fine looking like a fool. My apologies.
That's why we love you.
Jill, how do you set up your house well?
So if food that I want to eat is available, I'll eat it. If food that I shouldn't eat is available, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of the things in your fridge and your pantry should be things that you want to eat and that will help you towards your goals. If I want ice cream or a Coke Zero or I want to go get a donut, I'm not going to go get that in my pantry or my fridge. I'm going to have to get in my car and go get it. So you'll want to set up several obstacles to getting to those foods that are less nutritious. So now I'm not saying we don't have things in our house. I currently have the autumn mix of candy corn in my house, and it's in the back of my mind at all times. Like, I know it's there.
I've thought about it 4 times in this podcast.
Yeah, I've actually thought about it twice. And also my kids know it's there. They'll find it. I'll try to hide it behind vegetables and healthy things, but they dig and they know that I hide things like that now.
They can sniff it out.
But my main thing is just keep the foods that tempt you out of your house. Don't purchase them and bring them in. If you want them, go get them. Yeah.
So this question is hard. I've talked about it with many people, and I don't know if there's like a surefire answer to it, but maybe we can just color it a little bit. Is what if at your house you don't buy the groceries? You are not the one that has control of the budget or the grocery shopping, and just you live at a place that just has crappy food. Well, how do we go about that? Because you're not in control. So let's say, for example, a 17-year-old junior in high school is like, man, I really want to be fit, but my family just is not a priority to them right now, and all I have is peanut butter jellies, mac and cheese, and whatever. What do I do?
I mean, I think a big thing with that, I mean, there are lots of different ways you could handle it, but is like taking ownership of it. Like, I know if I want something, then I need to be like, I will plan it. I'll make the dinner. I'll do this.
Yeah.
But these are the groceries that I need to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I think at least that's part of it. But there does have to be an ownership and a conversation made, especially if you don't feel like you have control over it.
Yeah,
Right.
That's good. Jill, any tips that you'd give to that person?
Yeah, that's a really, really hard question.
It is hard.
It just depends on the situation. You know, if it's a young kid who's not buying the groceries, their parents are buying the groceries, of course, they can have a conversation like, Mom, can you grab me some chicken and broccoli? I don't think any mom's going to say no to that. But it is a matter of that, you know, person having to take a little bit of ownership of what they're trying to do. I know if my kids came to me and asked me, of course, I have a different perspective, but to buy them some healthy snacks or certain things that they want to eat, I'll get it for sure. But that's just ridiculously hard question, because if you don't have control over the purchase of groceries, it's difficult.
So the next question that I've gotten a lot is, well, just buying healthy foods are just really expensive. It's so cheaper to go buy the $2.99 ready to go ramen noodles, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if I am on a budget and I want to respect that I can only spend X amount per week, but I do want to eat healthy? How do I manage that?
I think that's a very common misconception about eating healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
And we can get into the organic or not conversation on another episode,
Yeah.
but a banana is literally 15 cents.
That's true.
An apple is 15 cents. I mean, we're just talking about like these very healthy items that came from the earth are less expensive than like a can of soup.
That's what we have a member that posted a Instagram story the other week, and she was like, guess the total of how much I spent on all these groceries, and it was her whole countertop covered in produce and like just all this good stuff. And so you could like go through and pick out how much she thought she spent, and it was like $66.
Yes.
And she shops at Aldi.
Yes.
And so
love Aldi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you just got to shop the sales.
Shop in season too.
Yeah.
Like fruits and vegetables when they're in season are very inexpensive. And if you go to Publix and you find that the chicken breast and the shrimp are half off this week, buy that. Like look at the ads, people.
I have a
like
quick
things are on sale.
I have a quick funny story about that. We were going to a friend's lake for the day, but we had to bring some food, and I think we were in charge of like chips or something, and I went by the chicken, and the whole chicken breast, like 5 or 6 of them, were buy one get one free. I literally bought 4 of them. I went over to our friends and said, can I put my 4 packs of chicken in your fridge, because it was buy one get one free, and they said, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, granted, they come to the gym and they're like totally on board.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't care where we're at, I won't buy it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're rounding third in this conversation. We're coming home here, and the last kind of area I want to talk about is eating out, busy schedules, especially coming off the summer or even fall. You are on the ball field all day. You have a big weekend. You're not at home. You're just go, 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 go. How can we intentionally plan, or how can we do sustainable nutrition out and about?
I mean, I'm the baseball person.
You are.
All weekend, every weekend. And I just know concessions are not going to be my best bet. I just know that. So we plan and we pack. I pack lunch and snacks, and then we do plan to possibly eat out dinner based on how the tournament goes. So I'll eat breakfast at home. I'll pack a big cooler of lunch and snacks, and then we'll plan to do a dinner out usually. But I can build a plate anywhere we go.
Yeah.
So,
Chrissy, would you add to that?
Yeah,
Anything?
Honestly, I think that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I had to, and I'll kind of let you guys share kind of like a main takeaway or a tip, but for me, it all kind of funnels through the filter of you have to be intentional, you have to have a plan, because our culture is so set up just to eat the yummy, comfortable junk food at a concession stand or out to eat or just in your refrigerator. But if we have a plan as far as, oh, my pantry's going to look like this, or I'm going to have fruit on the counter, or I'm going to build a plate, if it's at the forefront of our mind, we can make it happen, because it's not complex. It's not algebra or it's not calculus. It's very simple to be like, I'm going to grab a banana over whatever, but we just have to be intentional about it. We have to give attention to it rather than just, we're just going to drift into healthy eating. No, that doesn't happen. So having a plan. What are your guys' takeaways?
I was just thinking, I had a random thought. I've never actually had anybody do this, but I wonder if people would eat their meals in their bathing suits, how they do.
So they can see themselves
just
while they're
slap
eating?
it on right before you eat. Do you make different choices?
So if I'm going to eat this
You
cinnamon
might.
bun that's looking at me, I should take my shirt off and
your
put my
Speedo
bathing... I don't have a Speedo,
Yes,
people.
you do. Your wife told me.
Okay, that's separate.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. That's good. That's great.
Anyways, so you're saying I should look at myself and eat. That's a really weird. I probably will never do that, but I wonder how that would influence you.
I just thought that might be interesting. So.
That is interesting.
So when it
Chrissy's like, let's come back and be normal now.
So for me, I mean, my biggest struggle, like personally, is always the protein portion, because I know that I always have like frozen veggies and fruit on the counter and that kind of stuff. So if I can prep at least a bunch of different meats or have like meats ready to go throughout the week, that makes me so much more accountable to it, because that's usually the thing that throws off the meal for me, because it takes so much longer to prep.
So start with protein.
Yeah.
I really base my meals around protein. Like when I'm, for example, last night I just finished, we had to take Andy to her soccer practice, and I had 10 minutes to make something really quick. When I opened up my fridge, the first thing I thought of is protein. I'm going to build my plate, I'm going to build my meal around the first thing is protein.
Yep.
And then once I found, okay, the quickest protein source I can get is the deli meat, like the chicken from Publix. Okay, I'm going to have a sandwich. I'm going to put some almonds on the side. I had a thing of mixed berries. Boom. My dinner was done in 3 minutes.
Easy peasy.
And I mean, my sandwich was about 6 inches tall because I had so much protein on there, but it was ready to go, quick and easy. I had almonds, fruit, and then out the door.
Perfect.
That's it, guys. All right. This is the last of our little mini series kind of around sustainable nutrition. We're going to come back and talk about nutrition more in later episodes, but this kind of wraps up just kind of this full conversation just around the why, what, and how we go about sustainable nutrition. So Jill, I appreciate you. Chrissy, I appreciate you more. I'm just kidding.
It's because I brought up the speedo.
You did. You embarrassed me in front of our 70,000 listeners. That's okay. Jill, what do you say at the very end?
Y'all are legends. Love ya.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us today, friends. I hope today's conversation helped you gain a greater understanding of the mission at CSNF to change lives through fitness and nutrition. Check us out on social media or reach out at comingstrengthandfitness.com. We would love to help you take your health to the next level. We'll see you next time.